Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Let me know if you guys like this format of video. Kind of just like more, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Commentary. I watched these videos a couple years ago, and when I was a new student, I watched these, and I really didn't have any idea of what was happening. I just knew that it was bad, but like I didn't know why. Now I'm 500 hours in. I'm a flight instructor. I want to break this down for you guys, whether you're in the aviation field or not. This is exactly what I am seeing and my best guess as to what happened. Keep in mind that these videos are really blurry and I can't get critical information like seeing the flaps down and the air speeds and stuff like that. But I can draw you a picture. So let's start with this guy, crash landing and pilot flies into the hangar. Okay, and this guy is just stone cold Steve Austin the entire time. Props to him because he is hardly phased when he should he should be panicking like 2 seconds into this video, and he just straight faced it all the way into the hangar. Crazy. All right, let's watch this. Oof. Luckily, this guy is he's okay. I think he escaped with minor injuries, but that plane is done, that hangar is done, and yeah. So let's break this down and kind of like turn this into a teaching moment. Okay. So first of all, his speeds don't look bad. I don't think he's coming in fast. I just think he came in flat and he came in hard. So you can kind of tell by this moment right here. This is when you come in flat. That noise. Listen to this. Hear that noise? That boom. That's the mains hitting, and then the front wheel hitting immediately after that. All right. At this point, you should probably have done a go around immediately if you're bouncing, but so it does sound like he's bouncing a little bit. Honestly, at this point, just save. I think you're down. You're on the ground. Okay. It sounds like all of his wheels are down. He's done bouncing. He's still a little bit fast, but this was probably savable. The problem is that now I'm assuming he might have a crosswind. I doubt it. This looks like improper rudder control because now his nose is 30 degrees to the left of the runway. He's way off center line, but look where his eyes are. He wants to go this way, but he's just not putting in the proper inputs. A little back pressure right there. Interesting control input. It's because he's thinking about the go around. All right. So it's way too late to do a go around at this point. And you are off center line. All right. You are slow. And you probably, he didn't even touch his flaps. All right. So those flaps, if you're going to do a touch and go, those flaps, there's so much wrong with this. Those flaps should be up if you're going to do a go around because he's already on the ground. He's lost his airspeed. All right. But he's like sending it. And at skidding, like he is completely sideways. Now he's facing 50 degrees to the right. Full on back pressure, right? He is like, I'm going to get this thing in there. And for a moment, I thought he had it when I first watched this video because he hits a jump. And I just imagined him like, what if this dude hits the perfect jump, gets airborne, and then just flies over this hangar? Obviously, it's not Diddy Kong's airplane racing. Like that's not going to happen. All right, this isn't Mario Kart. But right here, I'm like, oh my God, he's got it. He most definitely did not have it. But full on back pressure right here. Full on back pressure. And this guy is fully committed. You know, the stone cold Steve Austin face, it dissipates at this point. He knows that he's in for trouble. Full deflection of the right aileron. At this point, this is called negative. I think it's called like negative transfer of learning, where he's in car mode. He's in car mode. Okay, he's driving a go-kart at this point, and he's like, if I turn to the right with my ailerons, I will dodge this hangar. So that just tells me that he just doesn't have experience in this plane because your first instinct should not even be to not even to be touching the power. Definitely not to be turning like this, but use the rudders instead. So this guy just doesn't have the experience, and he knows it, obviously. Oh my God, I didn't even know a yoke could twist that way. This guy is like, he is 180 degrees. This yoke is upside down. I literally didn't even know that was possible. Ooh, luckily he's okay. Yeah, that guy's never flying again. I would never fly again after that. But he definitely should not have been. He should not have been on the solo. I could tell that just from those responses. I mean, maybe this guy was a stud and he just had a moment where he just made a mistake. I don't know. Either way, there was a lot going on there. All right, let's go ahead and break up this next one. I love this title. It's just hilarious to me. It's like Cessna crash in solo flight with Chinese student. By the way, guys, he's Chinese. Like, it doesn't even matter because he's a pilot. Well, he's not a pilot, obviously, but it's just the caption just cracks me up. I'm like, it doesn't matter. All right, this video is really grainy. It's really blurry. But I can already tell by looking at this that this dude is fast. I mean, he is like top of the green arc. Looks like he's like 80 knots right now. Generally speaking, we should be approaching at like 65 to 60, but let's watch this video and then I'll take a step back and we'll break it down. All right, so the first thing that I'm just like thinking in my head, if I was in the right seat with this student, I would be absolutely terrified just on this approach alone. Like, this should have been a go around. I mean, you're coming in fast, you're coming in low, you're at 80 knots, you're unstable, you're kind of getting like blown all over the place, even though I doubt there's any wind. Maybe there's a little bit of wind. I'm not seeing any, like in the water or anything, but at this point, I mean, look at this. This dude, so this white arc, guys, right here is, I mean, sorry, this green arc, that's usually about 85 knots. He's probably about 80. Like I said, he's about 15 knots too fast, and he's too low to be doing this. His power setting, where's his power at? His power setting's not bad, so that's 10, that's 15. All right, so he's just like, he was probably high, is my guessing. He was high, and he has this nose like pushed down right now. So he was probably like, shit, I'm high. So instead of doing a ground, he's like, I can save this. Pushes that nose down, gains all of that airspeed, almost over speeds his flap speeds, right? His 85 knots flap speed. And he is just like, he's trying to save this at this point. All right. So right here, all right, if I was his instructor, this moment right here, you're way too fast, you're way too nose down, all right, and you haven't even thought about pulling out power yet. So if you're fast, all right, what you should be doing is, if you're what he could have done instead of we're assuming that you're just not going to do a go around at this point. What you could have done is you could have reduced that power, used that airspeed, all that excess energy, and started bleeding it off. Apply that back pressure and start slowing down. All right, that could have been an option, but instead he still has power in. Looks at about 1,400 RPMs, maybe even 15, depending on, I don't know how blurry this is, but I mean it's pretty blurry. 15. He should have like had power up a long time ago if you had not done a go around, which should have happened. All right, so because he has so much speed, when he tries to flare, he just floats because you have so much energy in there. And then he's like, get back down, right? He goes, what goes up must come down, right? So he pushes the nose down, anticipates the flare. Big flare right here. This is called a balloon, all right? You're still fast, buddy. You got 70 knots in there. This is another moment where if I was in the right seat, I would say this was a go around immediately just because you're going to balloon like heck after this, okay? So he balloons up, tries to bring it back down, anticipates the runway again, and at this point, he's so lost in the sauce. Like, he lost sight of the end of the runway. He's not on center line. He just wants to get down. He's forcing it. He's still pretty fast. It looks like he's about at 65 knots. At this point, touching down. You should be touching down at like 50 knots to 55. Instead, he's touching down at 60. Off center line, improper rudder use, big flare here for whatever reason. And just donezo at this point. And then I love this part right here. Good thing he's okay, like I said. But he turns around and his like first instinct isn't the the fuel, like turning off the fuel or the airplane or like getting on the radios, it's to grab the camera. like look at, he looks pretty chill too. I mean, he doesn't look too I'd be shitting my pants to be honest. But yeah, I like how he looks at this. He's like, what do I do here? No, camera first. Just immediately pause it. That plane is done. All right, guys, if you like more of these videos, leave a like and subscribe. That was fun. It was fun. I really enjoyed doing these. Like I said, glad everyone's okay. Yeah, I'm going to go do some grounds with my students now, and I'll see you guys for the next one later.